What is up, Sword family? Long time no see. As you can probably tell by the sound of my voice, I still have this annoying, lingering cough. So we're going to see how this is going to work. Hopefully, I'll be able to do more talking, more talking than I did last time, since it's just going to be me today. But we shall see. So it's been a couple weeks. We've had Christmas and Solar New Year. Lunar New Year is at the end of this month. So keep an eye out for that. I might, depending on if my, excuse me, if I can get in contact with my possible guest for tea time this month, if they decide that they're okay with doing tea time on the 18th, then maybe on the 25th, I'll do a stream about New Year's again, maybe going over some of the things that I didn't go over last year. We'll see. Whew, wow. 58 comments. And there's the top. Wow. Okay. As always, get through the comments before we actually start on our topic for tonight. And first through the door at 5:02 p.m. is our own Sarah. Evening, yay for laptop notifications for upcoming shows. Well, we're glad that you're here, Sarah. And Foxy greeting Sarah and one of my patrons, Dan Hollifield. Good evening, Dan. And Sarah greets Foxy and Dan. And Foxy asks Dan how he's doing. Dan is getting by. He can tell there's a winter storm on its way. Foxy says, I know lots of folks are in the path. We probably won't get anything out here. Probably not. Being a dry winter, which means fires, yeah. We've had one good snowstorm, and it was the day after Christmas. And most of that is now melted and gone, so. Dan should only get wind and rain, but once the rain passes, there will be icy roads. Yeah. Ice is terrible. Dan will try not to drive in it. Sarah was supposed to get at least a foot of snow starting last night. Didn't even get a flake. I need a job where I'm paid to be inaccurate. There are a few of those. Dan's gotten a gallon of lamp oil, and I'm charging the electronics for if the power goes out. Good idea. Foxy doesn't blame him. Need to get more lamp oil. The last of it is in the lamp, and that oil has been lasted a decade, maybe more. Dan still needs to locate whatever it was I stored in the camp stove. Found the bottled LP gas. Wouldn't be a bad idea either. Might have to keep my eye open for a cheap camp grill. And Aunt Donna is joining us. Hey, everyone. Hello, Donna. Sarah says, good thinking. Also, for others with snow and ice, cheap kitty litter kept in the trunk is crucial for the event of losing traction. Works like gravel put under all the wheels, especially front or back tires are all four, depending on if it's a front or rear or four-wheel drive, and some going forward for those wheels. Foxy greets Donna, and Carl is joining us. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Carl. Foxy greeting Carl. Carl says I need to charge all my USB batteries. Might cook on the car engine. And Sarah greeting the Dark Withmans. Sounds like a Marvel character. Kind of like it. Witsman dude is finally here. Donna greeting the Dark Mistress. Asking how she's feeling. Come on. You got snow too and not a single snowflake here. I was supposed to be in the thick of it. Well, don't complain. Of course, Carl's just teasing. No snow here, maybe a flake or two yesterday. Donna asking the Withman dude if he ever put the winter air in the van tires. Foxy's glad for your sake that it turned into a dud. Yes. Dan found an inexpensive one at Walmart several years ago. We have 3 small bottles of propane. I have a soldering torch, believe would fit. Call it 6 to 9 days worth of hot meals. Yeah. Sarah's still sick, but thankfully don't have to work again until Monday. Crud lingers. Oh my God. And I've heard from other people that this cough sticks around for a while, so get used to this voice. I don't know if it's going anywhere for a while. Sarah was going to play in it. Yeah, we're both still coughing, yes. Have to use the propane stove outdoors. Don't want to risk carbon monoxide in the house. Yeah. Totally does. Yes, I did. Still stuck by a bathroom and sleeping all day. Well, very true, Dan. Ours would be on the patio. Dog. And Kitty joins us just before the stream starts. Hey, Kitty. Smart. Sarah greets Kitty. He's going to get to try his new tea I got him. Yes. It's up there, right on the corner of my desk. Brewing. Steeping. Depending on wind direction, I'll either set it up on the screened-in porch or out at the barbecue grill. I have coal and charcoal if needed. Nice. Sweet of you, Foxy. Yes. It's a it's a black currant tea. So this is going to be interesting. Dan going down the hall before the show starts. Several days worth of wood for the cast iron stove if push comes to shove. Good. Don't forget to like and share. Yes, Foxy doing my job for me. Dan's like was dropped 3 days ago. Wow, dude. And Carl greeting me. Yes. There's brother's face. I'm sorry. Made her pub zoomies in the background. Yeah, he's here. Oh, good. Trey is here. Awesome. Yes, Trey. New tea. I don't know where she got it. You're going to have to ask her. But I finally have something new to try. And Foxy is greeting Trey. And Carl is greeting Kitty and Trey. Wow. Drink your tea. I'm letting it steep. And Trey is greeting us all because we're awesome. Been quiet all day to have a voice tonight. Yes. That's the main reason why earlier today, Richie had a stream going and he offered to have me hop on and talk with him. And I had to decline because I was saving my voice for this. So that's also why I haven't been on Last Man Standing. Because, again, I don't want to be coughing into the microphone and distracting everyone. So, sound better than I was. I'm getting there. It's still not gone, but Sarah's listening. Pupper's guarding windows. He's growing so fast. Give him a kiss on the forehead. Inigo. Come here, buddy. Inigo. No. He says no. Looking much healthier than when we adopted him. Yeah. Come here, buddy. Come here. Hi, bud. Come here. We got to give you a kiss from Sarah. Come here. There you go. He's with great pupper humans. I like to think so. Looks delicious. I haven't tried it yet. I opened it Christmas morning and I've let it sit. I haven't touched it. Waiting for today. Just so everyone can see me try it for the first time on camera. Donna's had blackcurrant tea. It's delicious. Good. Won't get a fur baby until I know I can financially give it the needs of vet visits, good food, and other needs that's so important that many don't account for. Yeah. Thanks, brother. Oh my God, I loved him. Yeah. He's been a good boy. He's even been letting me sleep in a little bit in the mornings. When I've been up most of the night coughing, he'll let me sleep. So it's been good. All right. So as I said, we have had Christmas. So before I actually go into the topic for tonight, I want to talk about a couple of things that are really, really cool. And I'm glad that Trey is here for this. Because she is awesome. But we'll get to that. So obviously, I got my tea. One of the things that I got from Kitty is an actual pair of fidget spinners. I'm showing you this side for a reason. If I showed you the other side, I might get accused of attempting to hypnotize people with it. But I've never actually had fidget spinners. I have my Ome piercers over here that I sit and fiddle with sometimes, but now I have an actual. But, all right. I'm only going to do this once. So, that's the backside. The actual spinning piece is a Tai Chi symbol, better known as a yin yang, surrounded by the trigrams of the Bagua. The rest of it is a compass with all the directions on the outside. There are two of them. They came in this, which I had no idea. I was like, why are you giving me headphones? That was the first thing that my brain thought of with this case, is wired headphones. I got a new thin Kung Fu top So I have a thinner one for like the summer and spring months, and I have a heavier one for the winter and the fall months. Mm. Anything in your mouth for the cough that can throw off the taste of tea? Yes, I have a Jolly Rancher right now, which is also another reason why I haven't touched it yet. Those are beautiful, I know. So now if you see me playing with something under the line of the camera, it's probably this. And not these. Yes, I was pretty damn blown away by that. Yeah, Jolly Ranchers, they taste better than Cough Drops, except for the Luden's Wild Cherry. Cool, yeah. Just didn't know if it would make the tea taste off. Yes, it would, because the one I just had was green apple. So I don't know how. Yeah. Nice. You two are awesome. But here's the thing that I really want to show off. You ready for this? Foxy got me this. Look at that. It is a wolf dragon chimera. It has the dragon beard, the basic shape, but it's got the nose and the face and the coloring of a wolf. His name is Xiao Di. Xiao Di means little brother. So this is little brother. He is adorable. He sits right next to my desk on top of my printer. And that's where he's going to be until I find sorry. Let's give this a shot. Ooh. Yeah. All right. It's kind of funny. Which side? This side. Yeah. That. You can see it very good. That's Arabic. And it's out somewhere. Ah, yes. Packaged in Sri Lanka. But if you look at the actual tea bags themselves, it tells you come on, focus. The very end there with the X'd out section, it tells you not to add milk. So I didn't add anything. It's just hot water and a tea bag. Thank you, Trey, for making it come to life. Oh my God, yes. So glad you like him. I love him. when I opened him, it was just like, wow, dude, oh, wow. Sour apple probably, but well, fun commission to work on. I'm glad. And hopefully you'll have just as much fun with the new commission for my little student. So, yeah. How long did that take? Yeah. Love my little Foxy as well. He lived with my other. Yeah. I had no idea. But apparently me and Foxy had both commissioned Trey at the same time to make something for the other person. So she had that made for me, which I love. And for her, I had Trey work on a little strawberry fox. Because one of Foxy's nicknames for me is Strawberry in Chinese. And no, I will not go into detail on how she got that nickname because it's kind of green roomy. It's kind of not safe for work, so we'll just say not safe for work. Foxy to come up with that option combination to do, yeah. Sometimes hot water and a tea bag are all you need, most of the time. Most of my teas are fruity, so adding other things to them is just kind of meh. And now that we're almost halfway through the stream, I can actually get to the topic of tonight. There is no way in hell I'm going to be able to talk about all of the instruments because there are so many. Especially since a couple of them, I could probably do an hour stream on just that instrument by itself. But music is a passion of mine. It always has been. I mean, Christ, I started playing guitar at the age of 14, I think. It's been a long time ago. Shut up. I can't remember. My brother played in a band. He bought himself a new guitar. He was going to throw away the old one. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a perfectly good guitar. But because he got a shiny new one, he was going to just throw it out. So, what I did instead is I waited until dark. I went outside, opened the hard plastic case, took the guitar out, left the case outside. And I was completely self-taught. I didn't have any teacher. I probably could have gone to my brother and had him teach me. But we were both teenagers and didn't really get along very well, so I didn't think that was a great idea. Make honey candy that might help with throat and goes well with tea, yeah. Just thinking of honey. You can also just take a tablespoon of honey, but that just, with my diabetes, that doesn't sound like a great idea. So, my blood sugars have been crap for most of the last month because of this garbage anyway, so I don't really need to make it any worse. But I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to read tablature. I can't read, like, music notes, but I can read guitar tabs. And that's what I used to play. And I started. Oh no, sir. I don't know if I've ever actually like come right out and said it. I might have in passing, but it's not a big deal. just for fun. Let me show you what a guitar tab looks like for those who are not aware. Sugar-free. Yeah, see, the problem with sugar-free, though, is sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's minute bits of sugar in it anyway. And a lot of the artificial sweeteners aren't good for you. When I first went and was diagnosed diabetic, my nutritionist told me not to eat sugar-free candy, to just stick with regular sugar candy and just eat less. So, yeah, I don't want to mess with it, no. Doesn't look the type. That's what people say. Very dogged. Wouldn't have guessed, but I guess was stereotyping. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So, see if I can do this. Here you go. This is a guitar tab for the intro to One by Metallica. These over here are your strings. This is standard E tuning. And these numbers are telling you which fret to put your finger on when you strum the note. Now I'm going to do something, excuse me, that I don't tend to do on camera because I'm kind of embarrassed. But I want to show you just a little bit. That is my finger pick. It goes over the thumb. This is my guitar. So here we go. Here's your guitar neck. Each of these areas are frets. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down the neck. So to play this section, just right here, we're going to go on the A string, which is your second string from the top. Now, if you look on the tab, it's the second from the bottom. That threw me for a long time. I played things backwards for years, not realizing that it goes from the top up. It's kind of backwards. So, A string, second fret, D string, fourth fret. I don't know how well you can hear that because I don't have it hooked up to an amp right now, but then we come back up to the second fret on the A string again. I don't know if you can even hear that, but we go 2, 4, 2, 0. So it goes There you go. You've now kind of sort of heard me play guitar on stream. Like I said, I don't know how well you could hear it. I have an amp program on my computer. That's how I recorded all of my ad riffs, because I have an amp program on the computer itself. But we're more than halfway through, and I haven't actually gotten to the actual topic yet. So, should probably stop rambling. Some of us diabetics are allergic to artificial sweeteners. Yes. Seen something like that for flute and hand piano. Really? Huh. But like actual music notes? Yeah, I can't read that at all. I have no but over here are all of the tabs that I have written for ads. This is all the things I wrote. All of these is just stuff I made up myself. So, yeah, doctor's orders, no kidding. Okay. Flute shows which buttons are open and closed. Kalimba shows which key to. Okay. All right. Huh. Interesting. I'll have to see if I can find something a little bit later when I actually get into, talking about that instrument. But would have made playing flute much easier while I was in band. Oh, crap. I didn't grab my flute. Hey, can you bring that in for me for a second, please? You know where it is. It's on your altar in there. I actually want to have a visual aid. So, classical Chinese musical instruments. Most of them, well, no, all of them, thank you. We're going to set that aside and hopefully we'll actually get to that. Most of them fall into one of 8 categories. And the 8 categories are silk, bamboo, wood, stone, metal, clay, gourd, and skin. Your silk instruments are your strings. And they're called silk because in the old days, and Trey said hi, the strings were made of twisted silk. Now today, they usually use metal or nylon, but the name stuck. And within the silk category, you have further delineation of plucked instruments, like a guitar, that you pluck the strings, bowed instruments that use a bow, struck instruments which are instruments that usually have some kind of hammer or mallet. And then you have combined, which you can use your fingers, you can use a bow, you can use a hammer. Now, she appears on occasion, yeah. Time for fetch, okay. I am currently saving up for a silk instrument. I wanted one for years. And the one I want to get I've mentioned this on other streams, is something called a gujin. Gujin. It looks like this. It is a 7-string plucked, call it a lap harp. Very similar to a guitar. You see these dots above the string? Those are the same as these. They're fret markers. So when you're playing a gujin, love how those sound. I know. If you've seen almost any like Chinese movie, you've probably heard one of these. And if it wasn't a gujin, it was a guzheng. Those are 2 separate plucked silk instruments. Something my old roomie never went into, so it's awesome to see in here. I'm glad. They are neat. It's going to take me a while to get, to actually be able to afford getting one, because the cheapest one I found is like $230, which doesn't sound like a lot unless you're a cheap ass like me. Well, not cheap, just poor. But that's going to be my next purchase. Looks like a prettier koto, although koto is Japanese. It is. Now, we'll look at a guzheng, which is a completely different plucked silk instrument. It's similar to a gujin, but it is not the same. So let's pull this up. This is guzheng. They usually have between 10 and 15 strings. And if you look right here on this one, those are movable bridges. So similar to the frets on a guitar, with a guzheng, if you move those bridges up and down, the length of the instrument, it's going to change the sound when you pluck the string, because you're lengthening or shortening the string while you pluck it. So here, let me show you just a little something. This, hopefully, again, you can hear this. That, an open E string. That means that I'm not touching any of the frets. I'm just plucking the E string. Now, we're going to move all the way down to the 9th fret. See that? Now I'm pressing down on the fret. And the note now sounds like this. Well, again, I don't know if you can hear that very well, but I shortened the length of the string, and now you get a much higher note. Open string, 9th fret. That's what those bridges do. Movable bridges, and I was about to say what I thought they kind of look like. Yeah, I know. Now, those are just two of the plucked silk instruments. You also have the pipa, which is a 5-string short lute. I'm sure most people are familiar with these as well. We will share screens again. Nope, wrong one. There we go. That is a pipa. These little pegs up here are your tuning pegs. Bowed silks, you have your erhu, which is a 2-string fiddle. Yes, it only has 2 strings. And it is a bowed, so it's played with a bow. I put a picture of an erhu in the thumbnail of this this string. It literally only has 2 strings, but it can make some amazing music. But there's also several different variations of the same 2 strings, but different kinds of bodies. There's also 6 strings, or 4, or 3, but they're fairly similar. You have your yangqin, which is a hammered dulcimer. And then we get into the bamboo instruments, which are your woodwinds. And that's why I wanted Foxy to bring me this. Now this, look at that. Come on, focus. Focus. Come on. This is a Chinese dizi. So it is a bamboo. It is a flute. But it is oh God, what's the word? It is transverse. So it's played this way instead of this way. That right there is your mouth hole. Yes, I know. Not the green room, but I don't know a better name for it than mouth hole. I don't play a flute. I own this thing because it's cool. And because I'm a huge fan of the TV series The Untamed. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Please. The main character plays a dizi. It's got all your finger holes. And down here, you can hang an ornament from it, from these two holes. Kind of looks like a mandolin. You're not wrong. Neat how people all over the world found similar ways to make music. Yeah. Look up a Chapman stick sometime. Bass and 6-string guitar and one instrument. I really want one, but I don't have several grand to use for a hobby instrument. Almost like music is a universal language. Almost, yeah. Connection, yes. Have a fief that's almost the exact same, only metal. Yeah, this is plastic. I don't know if you can. It's plastic, but they do have bamboo ones. I just couldn't afford a bamboo one at the time. I've tried. Thinking Western flute, it's called an aperture. Huh? Okay. I like mouth hole. Leave me alone. I will admit to two things with this flute. Number one, just like Wei Wuxian, I will play with it. It's light and it's kind of fun. I do the same thing with swords. It's called sword flowering. It's spinning the spinning the sword. So sometimes I will just, it's like a fidget spinner. And just playing with it. And I will also admit to badly attempting to actually play this thing. It's not as easy as you think. You don't just blow into it. You have to have the right coverage. See, I can't. You have to get the right angle. But I'll admit to trying just to say I tried. And Trey concurs. Okay, aperture. Yes, mouth hole. But there's also the xiao, which is an end-blown flute. So the xiao is played like this instead of here. It's played here. And there's also a xiao in the Untamed. Really? Grabbing the dog? Well. Then you have your wood instruments, which are literally just things made of wood. You have wooden drums, which, if you've ever seen a Chinese drama where someone is mourning the loss of a loved one and they'll have this little wooden frog that has ridges down the back. And they'll use a hammer and they'll scrape. And they'll hit it with the same hammer and make that kind of hollow thunk sound. That's a wood instrument. They are usually called yew. And they can be shaped into any animal, or they can just be a wooden rectangle. I wouldn't mind having one of those either, actually. I like that tea. That's good. Heard the noise and was, yeah, I'm sorry. Embouchure, the way you have to hold your mouth to play the woodwind. Okay, see? Wonder if I can still do it. Never was very good, mostly due to anxiety and panic attacks. Well, you have a flute. If you want to learn to play it, learn to play it. Stone instruments are usually just big stone tablets. Usually played kind of like a drum, or more like a xylophone. Hung stone tablets of different sizes from different lengths, and you go down and that's a stone instrument. Metal instruments are things like your gongs, bronze bells. Damn it, I was going to grab that too. I have a singing bowl. It's right over here. I'll go grab it. Singing bowl. Metal. Western musicians call the wooden ones blocks if they're solid, or monkey skulls, or coconuts if they're hollow. Interesting. Gongs are fun. I want a gong. Even if it's just a small desktop one, I want a gong. But this is a singing bowl. Sarah knows. Used in rituals. You can't hold these by the edge. It doesn't work because you have to hold them underneath so you're not putting any pressure on them. They can be made of metal. They can also be made of gemstones. And they are used for rituals. They can be used to scare away spirits, to cleanse a space. They can be used as a focus during meditation. And you take your mallet. Okay, that was too hard. I don't blow anybody's ears out, but strike, and then lightly circle the outside with the mallet. You can also, which is kind of a fun acoustic exercise, you can put water in it. And while you're circling the outside, you start to see ripples. You can see designs on the water inside the bowl. You can also do it with sand, but sand is heavier. But yeah, metal. Smaller than, well, I was able to play with one that was quartz, and it was about the size of my head. So yeah, I do love the sound. Had water in ours, wonder what the difference is. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? And those are your metal instruments. Clay is pretty self-explanatory. Again, it's instruments made of clay. Clay pots. There's something called a taodi, which is basically a clay ocarina. Gourd instruments, again, fairly self-explanatory. They're made out of gourds. And then your hide instruments are your drums. There is large drums that you have to have on a stand, usually called da-gu. Da means large, and gu is just the overall term for a drum. You can have large drums, you can have small drums. Who remembers Karate Kid 2? And the tiny little hand drum. That is an actual instrument. You can play that. You can also use that for ritual as well, but it's an actual instrument. That was probably something else I'd like to get, is one of those little drums. They can be fun little toys for children to play with, but you can also use them to set rhythm. And I have mentioned in earlier streams that rhythm is very important to martial arts. That's why I am a musician. The interplay of martial arts and music is something that cannot be denied. Why do you think when people are doing forms and they're showing forms, they're doing it to music? Because the brain will link the music and the movement. There's a connection. There is always a connection between movement and sound. Music. About the size I was using. Wow. Holy crap. Different ones with different tones. Yeah. Metal sounds different than quartz, sounds different. I've never seen a wooden singing bowl. I don't know if it would work. But I would be interested to find out. Different tones with various types of wind chimes. Yes. I have, over in that corner, in my altar, a set of bamboo wind chimes. And we have metal and glass, I think, wind chimes in the bedroom. Wind chimes are just tubular bells that nature plays. Yes. Would have to be a hardwood. See, that's what I mean. I don't know. It's like my guitar. I have 3 different kinds of picks. And to me, to my ear, they play differently. I have here. This is something I got last year or the year before for Christmas from Foxy, because she's awesome. That is a wooden pick. I got a whole set of them, all different kinds of woods. But that's one of my favorites. I just like the pattern on that one. And then I have the standard kind of, plastic pick. But this one sounds different than the wooden one. And even though they're also plastic, my finger picks sound different to me. This is a whole set. I got these because before I say this, I wanted to work on my fingering technique. So I bought finger picks. And also, if I'm going to get a gujin, I need finger picks. That's for the thumb. And then you have 3 more that sit on the tips of your fingers. Like that. So you're going to be playing this and this. And these sound different than this. Even though they're both plastic, they sound different. My little cousin student in a few years is going to have to do something. I'm sure other areas have it. And it is mandatory, which I always thought was kind of stupid. She's going to have to do a science fair project. And I have considered letting her do a science fair project on the differences between plastic, wood, and metal guitar picks. I think it'd be interesting to actually do an actual experiment to see how they play and sound differently, scientifically. I think it'd be kind of cool. But that won't be for a few years yet. See, and she says they sound different. We're already over the hour, and I pretty much covered most of the instruments. So we're just going to do something a little fun here for a minute before I call it for the night and go get my dinner. Finger pick. Yeah, see, that science project would be cool. I know, right? Bring back Acacia. Yes, I named my guitar. Her name is Acacia. Okay. Now you guys are going to have to let me know if you can actually hear this. Because again, no amp. But open E string. Just play with my hand. Can you hear that? Do I need to get closer? Now, finger pick. Open E string again. Already louder. I can tell that much already. That is my finger pick. Now we get our regular plastic pick. Ooh, that was ugly. Try that again. Okay. Now I can hear a difference between those two. Dan. I bet Dan can hear a difference because Dan is a musician. Now we grab our wooden pick. Same open E string. Again, I can hear a difference between all three of those picks. They all sound differently. And don't mind Joe sliding in towards the end of the show. Hey, you can go back and rewatch. It's all good. This one, to me, it buzzed more. It was more buzzy. I don't know of a better way to describe it. It was buzzing more. This, yeah, Foxy already said it. The wood is more mellow. This was the clearest sounding note. It didn't have a buzz to it. It was audible. It was loud, but they all sounded different. Yeah, see, Dan could hear the difference too. Lost track of time getting dinner. The hour difference is, I bet it is. It's like that, you know, when you have to change an hour during the spring and summer and just screws with your head for a while. But there you go. This is true. I know this because I kind of used to play banjo. Banjo players sometimes use metal finger picks. Brian May used a pair of dead. See, I want to get a coin pick. I want to get a coin pick just so I can have a metal pick. I also have a crappy homemade finger slide made out of a piece of PVC. I want to get a glass and a metal one because, again, different. That's another thing. I'd also like to get a glass pick. Glass and metal. Good show. Thank you, Carl. A shilling. Okay. I will be back next week. I'm thinking of doing a stream about the tones in the Chinese language and the differences that they make. Pretty sure I can do an hour on that. The week after that, so the next one will be the 11th. The 18th or the 25th are the days I want to do my tea time interview. I have contacted someone outside of our usual group, and she said she would do the show, but I haven't heard anything since, so I don't know if the 18th or the 25th will work for her, or them, I think. But if not, if anyone here knows of a woman or a female presenting person that is a martial artist that would be willing to sit down with me and do an interview, please let me know, because I want to try and keep this as even as possible with interviewing men and women. So I kind of need more women to talk to. But it is what it is. 4 tones, yes. At the end of the show, well, you didn't miss the end. Snowstorm to start here at 7 a.m., but good show. Thank you. So there you go, folks. Chinese musical instruments. I might do another stream at a later date on just specific instruments like the gujin that I love so much. But thank you for coming. Thank you to Joe Bachman and Dan Hollifield for being my patrons. You can find all of my stuff at indiecd.org/about-bladed-thesis. Spelled just like you see down here, right there. Yep. You can find me at most social media sites, with the exception of Twitter, because that place is a garbage dump, just by searching for that right there. This one was interesting. Might do another one more in depth. Yes. Awesome learning. I'm glad. Tea helped my throat. It did. Night, everyone. Night, Donna. Foxy should try it. You should. It's really good. I really like it. Have a lovely evening. Have a good night. See some of you on Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing. I might try. Just don't be surprised if I don't talk much. But I might not. We'll see. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you. You are my sword family, whether you're on my Patreon or not. I will see you all next week. Thank you for listening to me ramble about music and all my Christmas presents, because music wasn't the whole hour. I will see you next time. 再见。